Good morning, friends. This is definitely a bit of a strange angle. Part of that is because the tripod that I normally use to record these is, as you can see, currently being used by my camera. We're going to do things a little different today. I'm going to actually ask you to read the psalm on your own today, partly because I want to talk a little bit about what I'm doing here and this morning and what this speaks to the spiritual life and how this speaks to the psalm. So the psalm today is Psalm 38. I put the text for it in both the description on YouTube as well as on the pages on Facebook. So you can read it in your own Bible, but definitely pause it for a moment here and take a moment to read Psalm 38. So I'm going to give you a moment to do that. So pause. Okay, welcome back. I hope you did read it. But this psalm is entitled by the author or by the translators, A Penitent Sufferer's Plea for Healing. And it is one of those psalms, like we've heard many of the others, that is a recounting of the struggles and challenges that one has faced in life and a plead and a pleading to God. The poet for Psalm 38 is Katina Washington Leaphart, and she shares from an extremely deep place of pain about resonating with this psalm. And so she focuses on verses 10 to 11 in her poem Exiled. My heart throbs, my strength fails, the light of my eyes, it is gone from me. And so she writes in her poem, it is said that the opposite of love is indifference. I ache from the inside out of the distance from those I have called friends. Love didn't stop the chasm of silence from cracking open between us. Why do they treat my pain like a contagious illness? Why have I been exiled from their embrace? I believe with my whole heart that we have the capacity to be God with skin on in our lives. Unfortunately, I don't know how to make sense of abandonment by a God-bearing friend or by God. Now, I don't know background to the situation that is there for Miss Washington Leaphart, nor do I totally know the story of what was there for the psalmist. But I do know that I, like probably many of you, have had moments, times in life where it feels like the light has gone out, like that part of the poem and part of the psalm speaks of that the light is not there any longer. So I want to talk a little bit about something with photography and how this ties into this. So the reason I've got my camera on a tripod this morning is I'm taking some pictures of uh, part of this creek. I'll just pick this up and show you. So taking some pictures there. Now the thing is with shots, there we go. With shots here is oftentimes if you just take a shot with just a camera without doing anything of a river, you get like just that one singular split second. And so what you get is uh, a shot that looks like just a very still piece. But what I'm doing here is I have something on the end of my camera here called a neutral density filter. And what that is something that actually literally darkens the lens. So it's actually a dark filter. And so what it does is it tricks the camera a little bit into thinking that it's darker than it actually is. So when I take a shot, it allows the shutter to stay open longer to capture more of what's going on. And so when you do that and take a shot of something like the creek out here and the little waterfalls here, is it gives you that flowing sense, that uh, piece where looks like just like these very smooth ribbons that are going and moving, and it gives you a sense of movement. And the thing is, you can't get that though without taking a period of time to see it. Okay, so where does this, so like taking the time, that can't just come from a split-second shot. It takes, in this case, like if I take a shot right now, it is probably going to be about a 15-second exposure. And so I'm taking 3 shots as I'm talking to you right now. And so there was one shot, it's taking another, and it's going to take another. So it'll be almost a minute worth of shots that will be put together to make the images you'll see, and I'll put those on here in a moment. So, okay, so where does this tie into the psalm and to the spiritual life? Well, the thing is I've had experiences in my life where uh, quite literally it feels like a dark shade has been pulled over my eyes. I can speak to one of the times when I was dealing with significant depression, where it quite literally felt like one day I felt great, everything was fine, and then the next morning I literally woke up and it felt like the world was darkened. And it is very easy in those moments and natural in those moments to just be in that one singular moment of pain and struggle and difficulty and darkness. You know, just like taking a shot of this, when you take it without that filter, it is just like that singular moment, right? And you don't get a sense of movement. One of the things that I think is important in our spiritual life is for us to take the long view. And that requires taking time. It is something that, yes, we can express and feel and be very real with the struggles that are in a singular moment, without a doubt. There's nothing wrong with that. That's natural, that's human, that's important to do. But it's also important to see the bigger picture and to be able to look and to see the movement of God. Oftentimes that isn't until you look back on things. This is not one of those statements, though, where saying, okay, God brought a difficult thing into your life to teach you a lesson or something like that. No, I don't think that's how God works. I think God can work out of the difficult circumstances of life, but I don't think God brings those circumstances in to teach us lessons. However, we can look back and see the movement to where you can come to a place where you can say, yes, I was in that darkened place, but when I saw that bigger picture, when I took a look back at what happened over the course of several years or something like that, you can see the wider movement of God. C.S. Lewis once wrote, and C.S. Lewis himself, who had faced significant tragedy and challenge in his own life, once wrote that it's funny how day by day nothing seems to change. Kind of like that singular shot, taking a picture of those waterfalls. But when you look back, everything is different. So I pray that those words are a blessing and a comfort to you in whatever you're dealing with today, whatever it might be. And I pray God's blessings for you today and every day. Grace and peace be with you.